Welcome back to the Inside Lane. I'm Todd. He's Kyle. Head to the mountains with Busch Light Beer. We're proud to have them as a sponsor for the Inside Lane. It's brewed longer to create a lighter body and fewer calories while always delivering that classic taste. Available at your favorite retailer. Please drink responsibly.
And in studio today, we have late model driver Nathan Long with us. Hi, Nathan. Thanks for doing this on short notice. I asked you yesterday, and today you're here.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate coming out and getting to talk to everybody. So,
yeah, your season has not been a good one by any stretch. And
Not the way you wanted to start, was it?
no, it's probably been our roughest season in the history of me racing. So,
when did you start racing? We'll get to all that in a second, but what's your racing background before late models?
so I started when I was 4 years old, and what would be the juice box class now. We started with Power Wheels at Penns Creek.
Is that right?
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Okay. I didn't know there was a class for those even.
Yeah, we kind of formed it. It lasted for about 3 or 4 years, and then kid carts took off around here. So that's it.
I think
Kind of
they run
blended
the
into that.
juice boxes. I think they run them at Greenwood Valley, don't they?
They do.
I
Yeah.
thought so.
I've heard of the class. I
Yeah.
didn't know they were Power Wheels. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, you've really been at it for a long time then.
Don't remind me.
How old are you now?
I just turned 30 at the beginning of the year. So.
okay.
You're
All
just
right.
a pup.
So you started in the juice box class and then fast forward a bunch of years and you decide you want to go late model racing.
Kind
Why-
of had it decided for us, but yeah,
Oh, is that right?
we were. That whole started when we got thrown out of the pro stock class at the end of the year when we were winning the championship, and we didn't want to give up. We were actually in talks with Kenny Trevitz about buying one of his cars, and I got a call on a Tuesday night from my parents. I was up at college, and they said, "Can you come down tomorrow after classes?" And I said, "Why?" And they said, "There's a late model going to be sitting in your shop. We're not quitting. We're going to go racing next week." So that's how we got into late models. It was a very quick turnaround. I had a car together in, I think, 3 days.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's a late model in a garage. We're going racing next week.
I never got that call.
No, me either.
I was shocked, to say the least. I had a long discussion with some family friends that had sadly passed away that night, and about them. And I said, "Well, you must have been watching out for us to get us back on the track like this."
Pro stocks to late models making that jump. How similar to the two car drives are both full size stock cars?
Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah, I said I learned a lot of bad habits in pro stocks. They're 3,000-pound cars with 500 horsepower that don't want to turn. You gotta kind of manhandle them, and in the late models, there's still some manhandling. You're still up on the wheel, but you got to kind of believe that car is going to rotate underneath you and keep going through the corner. And that's been hard for me to break over the last few years, and it kind of shows. We haven't really put on the performance in a late model that I would have liked to see over the last few years, but we'll get there.
But it's a learning curve, isn't it?
Definitely.
A learning curve. What makes the difference? Is it the weight distribution? Is it the way the axle set up? What is it? Or is it all the above?
Yes, it's the big thing is the suspension in those cars. I mean, the 4-bar rear suspension and being up on the right front constantly. It's just, I honestly described it the first time I got up on the bars as like I was floating. Like I didn't feel the racetrack right, and it took me a long time to realize how to feel the racetrack again.
Did you use any kind of iRacing, or I know iRacing is pretty popular now with drivers to learn how to drive different kinds of cars?
I tried it. I honestly can say I was worse in that than I was in real life. So I did give it up after a while, and it was fun, but it also, I mean, there's guys that are pretty much putting as much time and effort into that as we do into our real cars. So
Oh, yeah.
I was definitely not any better. I'm like, I'll stick to the real thing.
So you get in the late model. How long have you been driving the late models now?
So 2015, we ran 2 races. 2016 was my first full year. I
Mhm.
only ran 5 races in that year because I destroyed a car that year as well. So it's been going on 9 years now.
Yeah, there you go. So do you feel like you're at a point now where you've got a handle on it? Because I know you said it was a learning curve, and obviously this year isn't the way you wanted to start, but do you feel like you're getting closer to really understanding that car?
Not at all.
No.
It changes so quickly, and thankfully I have the Yoders to kind of rely on for setup help. And we switched chassis brands this year as well, so we went from lasers to rockets, and I think that's kind of helped me. They're more suited towards my driving style, so gave me a little bit more confidence in the car. But it's just that there's so much engineering that's now going into these cars that it's hard to keep up with.
A lot of the local race teams, I mean, not local, but on the national level, regional level, you know, they have a guy for everything. They have a shock guy that they could call at the factory. They have a chassis guy that they can call. On the local level, is it just as easy to access those people, or do you have a more difficult time getting answers if you have an issue?
It's equally as easy. I mean, they're probably going to be a little bit easier because they got guys that'll go travel with them and watch their cars and stuff. You know, we're calling in, feeding information to them, and they're giving us what they think they saw or heard from us. So it takes some time to get that through, and it's better to have it right there in your hands. And you see a lot of guys, even on a local level now, are starting to either look for crew chiefs, or they have somebody who's been in the sport for long enough that they're quote unquote a crew chief for them.
Well, since you switched chassis, what is the difference as far as the physical makeup of the chassis that makes you like the Rockets better?
It's a little stiffer. It's really all that I could see from having the two chassis side by side before we got rid of our laser. I think it's just more of a you don't have to be up on the gas all the time. I'm not a gasser. I came from karts and through pro stock, so I don't want to be hard on the throttle all the time if I don't have to be. So they're both equally good cars, and you've seen the lasers down south. They're winning a ton of races, and Jim Bryan and Brandon do a great job with theirs around here. Which it didn't match me. I had the same issue when we were running micros. We started in a PMP, and it was just not the type of style I was used to. Switched to the RTS, and we won a few races after that. So,
you know, and that's not unheard of at all. I remember years ago, you'd hear drivers that would prefer Rockets, prefer Masterbuilt. They would get in another kind of frame or another kind of car, and they wouldn't do anything. The year before, they'd be winning all kinds of races. It's amazing how much a metal frame has to do with all the odds and ends on a car, how important that is.
Oh yeah, how they're welded together, even from one car to the next. You can have sister cars and they're going to act completely different.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this accident that happened at Selinsgrove Speedway. It was earlier this year. The big heartbreaker for you, I know, was you had just gotten this new car, which they're not cheap. I mean, a new car, what, tens of thousands of dollars, I'm sure. You just got this brand new car, and how many laps did you have on it?
I think we had around 22 laps.
And there was nothing you could do. There was nowhere you could go.
No, it all happened so fast. And I sat down with Dylan and stuff, and we talked about it all. And honestly, I thought I was clear. And then I got turned a little to the right and just got into his nose, and it drug me in. But it's part of racing. You just kind of got to recoup and go at it again. So.
And most of the guys on the track understand that too. You know, I mean, if you do something dumb, you're going to get called out. But a lot of them are just racing incidents, and that's what this sounds like.
Oh, it definitely was. Yeah. You know, none of us were mad at any other person there, and we were all. I mean, everybody was out on the track there. We're all concerned for each other.
Right.
It's like I told those safety officials, my car's done. I know it's bent in too many directions. I said, get it. You can drag it out of the way. Get Dylan out of that car. So,
yeah, because he was still upside down at that point, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, I remember hearing, you know, that was the first time he was ever upside down in his career. Just how vicious the wreck was. I think your Hans device had damage on it. Fortunately, all your safety stuff did work out, which proves again how important all that stuff is.
Oh yeah. We so I had my Hans device certified last year. The guy told me how to look for impact on the clevises, and there's stretch marks and they turn white. Yeah, both of mine were whitened. So they went back to Hans to be recertified. And it was definitely a very hard hit for both of us and everyone involved there. But
any lasting physical issues, or was it just obviously it's something you walked away from, which is good, but But anything you had to deal with on even on a short-term basis after the accident?
I was sore for a few weeks afterwards. Mainly went into my hands. I'm not sure if I punched the tub or when I let go of the steering wheel, what happened, but had pretty swollen right hand for a while. So
For Selinsgrove being as big of a track it's faster. So, spectators might think, well, why didn't so-and-so miss the crash? Not saying that this was the case in your incident, but, I've seen it before. You're sitting in the stand. Somebody said, why didn't he just go around?
Yeah.
The closing rate there is so incredible. I
Mhm.
can't even imagine being in a driver's seat. What's it like? I mean, you're going into turn 1 or turn 3 full bore and you see a car sitting sideways ahead of you. What do you do?
it's almost a reaction. There's no
Mhm.
like real thinking about it. You just try to avoid what you can, but sometimes you get lucky and that's what you
Mhm.
hope for. But most of the times at Selinsgrove, it's not going to be that lucky.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, in an accident like that, there's two vehicles involved. You can control what you're doing, but you can anticipate what's going on with the other car, but you can't always guarantee that that's what's going to happen either.
Yeah.
They always say, like in NASCAR, go high. Sometimes that works. Most of the time it does. Sometimes not so much.
No, you never know what's going to happen with their car. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of guys will say, well, why didn't he hold the brakes or something? Well, you don't know what's broke. You don't know what's ripped. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of at the mercy of
Could
luck.
the driver in the other car could be what breaks. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
So what kind of damage to your car was there? I mean, just going through the checklist, I know that you had sent the car away and got a lot done to it.
So we had both front and rear clips were done. They cut both of those off and replaced them. Brand new halo bar, which is the top of the roll cage. When the rear clip bent up, it bent the halo with it. Our whole rear end, all the suspension was destroyed. The front end, thankfully, we saved the left front suspension. But other than that, like I said, we were actually joking about it last night where we were starting to hang the body. The only thing straight on the car was the roof.
Oh, jeez. Now I'm going to ask a question that my wife would ask. You mean there's no guarantee on those cars?
Sadly, no.
There's no like
There's
3 months bumper to bumper.
no 6 months replacement or anything like that. Free and clear.
No,
not so much. Okay.
I was actually asked following the wreck if there was insurance and how much they would cover on it. I wish somebody would come up with that, and I will pay what they ask for.
Yeah, after something like that.
Yeah, that's for
I mean,
sure.
not only do you have the car, but you have an engine, you have a transmission, you have all this other stuff.
Mhm.
So there was no engine, transmission damage, nothing like that.
The engine, the transmission were good. The drive shaft broke in the accident, which I think saved the transmission because the rear end was bent beyond saving. We actually had to get a new one of those. So thankful for a carbon fiber drive shaft and letting that break and not tearing anything else up.
Yeah, I'm sure, because you think about something like this, it's, I think, maybe forgotten sometimes just how much money these things do cost. And I know that you have great supporters on the car, but the amount of money that it takes to run a race, and you're not racing for 10 grand every week, you're racing for a couple of $1,000s to win.
Mhm.
So I know, with a small team, money doesn't grow on trees. That's what they say, right?
And this year, I mean, it's kind of been my parents and my grandparents chipped in a little bit. But we did sell Todd's car that we were racing, Selinsgrove Ford. So we are kind of starting to that diversion there. He's kind of looking more to get on the side of putting the races on rather than having a race car. So
You're still going to be involved in the sport for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. He left us run his motor this year, which was a godsend. If we wouldn't have done that, we were definitely not racing this year. So,
well, let's look at the positive side of this whole thing. When are you going to be back on the track?
I'm hoping by the end of July. I know we've got a couple weeks off here coming up, so would like to hit the end of July, early August, and to get back on the racetrack and at least get a few more laps on this car before we have to put it away for winter.
That's incredible, though. I mean, this was in May, and here it is, middle of July when we're recording this.
Yeah.
You hustled not just with getting the car sent out, getting new suspension parts, getting the engine, all that checked out, but also, going out and getting money. I know you've been selling T-shirts to help with it. You may have had another fundraiser or two even that I saw. So you've been hustling.
We've been trying to. We don't like to sit on the sidelines too long. So whatever we can do, we started moving some parts just to create some cash flow so we could get parts to get this car back together.
Yeah. And you also have a full-time job. So this isn't your only thing to do. It's probably maybe your favorite thing to do, but it's not your only thing to do.
Right now, I don't know if it would rank as favorite because it's a lot of we've put 2 cars together now in 3 months, and but yeah, no,
call it practice.
I told my guys, I said, if I didn't wreck, you guys would get bored. So I have to keep you guys busy.
And what did they say to that?
They said, you can wreck a little bit. We'll change body panels and pound them flat, but none of this anymore. So I couldn't understand why they didn't like it.
I'm guessing there were some other, shall we say, more flowery language they threw in there too?
Oh, definitely. But...
Yeah. And you're planning a wedding this year too, which I'll be at. I'm DJing it. Thank you for that. But you've been planning that for a while. So I just thought of that because you're throwing that into the mix along with building a race car and working and getting money together to get a race car.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question here. What's your first priority?
She knows it's the race car.
Okay, good. Excellent call.
Actually, we're getting married 3 months from today. So, and
at the Speedway?
No. We met at the Speedway, and I loved it. I mean, just having that whole connection of the whole circle thing there is my life is revolved around this, and her and I met there. But I've told her many times I helped as much as I can. I said, but when it comes to racing season, I'm out. I got to worry about the car, and thankfully she's very, very good with that.
Yeah, because her family kind of grew up around it too, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. Actually, we met her. Brother was running karts at the same time my sister was. They needed a little help with their kart scaling and stuff. And my dad took in some work. We were scaling about 8 or 9 go-karts at that time. And just one thing led to another. And we ended up together. And 12 years later, we're finally getting married.
Here we are.
What the heck took so long?
I had a rule. I needed to have my own house.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up building a house 2 years ago, and
nice, congratulations.
And the shop is attached to the house, is it?
No, I left my parents keep that. It's only about 500 feet up the road for me. So,
but you'd always do. I remember Andrew Yoder and Christy Yoder's wedding. They left. Their wedding reception was a Saturday night wedding reception. They left because they wanted to make it to the racetrack to get pictures taken in front of the flag stand before they turned the lights off. And they're awesome pictures.
That's great.
Yeah, I was a groomsman in the wedding, and I ended up leaving early to go race.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of times I know Pocono used to do it. I imagine they still do. They can do a whole wedding package there. You get married actually at Victory Lane, with the checkered flag on the, painted on the cement and everything like that. You can do the whole thing. They take care of a lot of the nuts and bolts of just that day, obviously, but they can have the ceremony at Watkins Glen or at Pocono, but I'm sure other tracks probably do that too. Not that I'm trying to suggest anything there, but I thought I'd throw that out there just in case you want to run with it or not.
Do they have is it like Vegas with Elvis impersonators? Do they have a Richard Petty impersonator doing the ceremony?
They got a big hat and the sunglasses,
No, okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can roll with that.
Absolutely.
I can roll with that. Well, Nathan, I know that we've talked about you kind of being a self-funded team with parents, grandparents, just trying to get a car on the track because you've been racing forever. You love racing. I know that there are t-shirts that you're selling and ways that people can help if they're listening to this. If they want to throw you 20 or 30 bucks, how are some of those ways that they can get shirts or help you out?
If they want to get shirts, get a hold of one of us through the racing page. My sister, my mom, my fiance, or I. It's probably the easiest way is get us on Facebook and just reach out. We'll get back to you.
What is it on Facebook that people should look for?
Nathan Long Racing.
All right.
Okay.
Just so people understand, I mean, not even counting the car, the engine, transmission, just for one tire, what are they up to now? One Hoosier tire.
I think it's $230 plus tax, and I heard they're hiking up again.
$230 plus tax. How many tires would you say you would go through a night if you were putting new on?
I should be replacing probably the right sides after every feature. But honestly, tires are the last thing we worry about. I think I still had tires this year that were mounted from Speed Week last year that were used, and
Yeah.
that's what we do. We put together what we can, make sure the car's on the track, and worry about the rest later on.
So it could be, I mean, $500 of tires a night. You got fuel, you got your admission, your tow. I mean, to get a car on the track, what do you think? 1,500 a night?
Probably.
Sounds about right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a money making endeavor for sure.
No.
Right.
And as fans, you know, you like going out to watch race cars without Steve Inch always said this line, you can't have a race without race cars. So, you know, when the fans can give back, help the drivers, you know, buy a t-shirt. I always do that if I go out to a dirt race, if there's a merchandise trailer, you know, buy the t-shirt, make sure that there's cars on the track to watch.
You said with sponsorships that you have from local businesses, who's on the car right now?
So Selinsgrove Ford is still our primary sponsor. We have Susquehanna Surplus, Rogue River, McKinney's Polishing Company, and I believe that's it.
You don't have Kyle Alexander DJ Services on there yet? He's right over there. Talk to him. Give him the pitch.
I've tried that with a couple guys. That's one thing I'm not very good at is going out and collecting sponsors. I'm a quiet person, and
send your mom over.
Yeah, my mom, my fiance, my sister, they're pretty good at it. But
well, when
there's room on the car for more.
Always.
Okay, great.
Want to pause for a second to tell you to head to the mountains with Busch Light beer, brewed longer to create a lighter body and fewer calories, while always delivering that classic taste. Available at your favorite retailer. Please drink responsibly. As far as the Kyle Alexander DJ service, I don't know. Maybe the Inside Lane podcast should sponsor him. We could take some money out of your retirement.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry.
You're not retired anytime
I'm at
soon.
that age where I'm not hearing everything clearly. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Yeah. Take some 401k money out and slap it on the car.
Right after we redo the driveway, because that's why I'm still working. My wife is retired, and I want to repave the driveway, so I slosh it to work every day.
Yeah.
You'll understand. You'll understand at some point, believe me.
Hey, there's always things that come before race cars, and
that's not what you said 10 minutes ago.
There's certain things.
What's your favorite racing memory? You know, we talked a lot about bad memories, but what's a good racing memory that you have?
There's countless, but probably the top one is 2006 when we won our first national race in a go-kart. It's at Virginia, Amelia Motor Speedway, and it was down a little bowl. I got out of the car, excited 10-year-old. I was able to find my dad in the stands, and him and I put our hands up together to each other. So that's probably one of the coolest memories I have of racing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep,
what do you think about karting nowadays? I know locally, you know, it would be nothing to have 200 go-karts at every go-kart track on a Friday and Saturday night. Now there's a lot less. I mean, what are kids doing these days? Are they just not getting into it?
I don't know. We've had that discussion a lot of times. It seems like the sport's kind of slowly dying off. We're not feeding into the younger generation, and we also kind of price ourselves out of things. You know, when we were running go-karts on a normal night, a set of 11s and a set of 22s got you through the night. I think a set of tires was $150. I just heard from a couple guys that are running. I mean, they're looking at like $500 a set. And they have to have 8 or 9 sets in the trailer just for a local race, let alone if you're traveling, trying to make some money. They're looking at 30, 40 sets in the trailer, and they run them 5 nights and throw them away.
Yeah. Wow. And relative to late models, you know, where late models are going for a couple of $1,000s to win on a go-kart, typical Friday night show. I don't know if it changed, but I know when I ran them, if you won a typical show, you got to pick. You could either get the payout, which was $10 or $20, or you could get a trophy. You could get one or the other. You couldn't get both. You had to pick one or the other. So, you know, the tires cost less than a set of late model tires, but you're going for a lot less to win.
Right.
So I think cost does have to have a lot to do with it.
It's that way all across the board.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, those go-karts are racing for big time money now. I mean, Selinsgrove just had that the 4th of July race, and they were paying their classes pretty well. It's just And it's a dedication. When you go to do that and that's what you want to do, you give up everything else to race. And a lot of people, that's hard to do.
Even the national karting, the numbers are down there on that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to that level, you're spending even a lot more money.
And they don't race for, at least when I was doing, we weren't racing for money. You got trophies and that was it.
Yeah, so you didn't even have the option to get your $20 back.
No.
Which option did you pick, Kyle?
Well, I never won. So
yeah. Okay. Why are we talking to him?
I probably
It's been a long time since I've won a race too. So
here's the difference. You have the possibility and the probability of winning again.
yeah.
Not so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm retired.
that's the way to go. A friend of ours won one race and retired. He said, I'm going out on top. So
Says the guy who's only sat in one race car in his life, and that was in a museum right there. Thank you very much.
If they're
But it was Paxton's car, so that was cool.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, the MMR. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, you should have raced back in the day.
Yeah, I watched
Horse
a lot
and carriage or
whatever. Oh, no, Flintstone car. Thank you very much.
No, but the go-kart thing, people don't realize the time commitment either, even back when I was doing it. And by the way, if there was an award for flying off the back of Selinsgrove Raceway Park the most amount of times in the season, I probably would have.
Well, there you
got it.
So you got something to hang your hat
That's
on.
usually where I ended up, down there in the dirt. But even during the week, the time commitment for a little go-kart, because you have to do tire prep. That's the biggest thing you have to do. So, 3-4 nights a week, you're out with your tires, just putting on coat after coat of this tire prep to soften them. And I mean, there were a lot of times, even when I raced the little bit I did, that I wouldn't really do my homework if I was going to be racing Friday night because it took so much time.
Yeah.
So how do you can't really do anything about that.
How do you balance the time?
you don't. You learn to go without sleep and just keep moving on. I'm growing up racing, like you said, there's a lot of times I didn't do my homework or skip school to make sure I was getting the car ready to go. And was it the best decision? Probably not. But
Okay, let me write this down. Skipped school. The statute of limitations is over, I think, but we're going to check.
We're gonna do.
I hope it is.
Call it truancy officer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Nathan, thanks for coming in and doing this today. I know it was
Really
short notice.
appreciate it.
We wanted to get you in for a while, but the last month or so has been nuts with us alternating vacations and everything else. But I'm glad that you're going to be back on the track soon because you were born and raised here. I know you know a lot of people. A lot of people are rooting for you. Once you get back on the track, I know that's the goal, to get kind of a feel for it again the rest of the year. But looking at the years ahead, what are you thinking as far as tracks you might run? Or are you going to eventually try and do a little more traveling, or are you going to kind of stay here for a while?
We're going to call Selinsgrove home for sure, as long as it's still up and operational.
And that seems to be on the right track now, too.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It's turned around huge since the last 2 years. So,
But
I do love to travel. We're going to do Speed Week again, I think. And I want to get to the Fall Clash as well this year. We go to Georgetown every year anyhow, which is the last race in that series. So that's kind of like a mini family vacation, as well as we end up at a racetrack. So we're definitely going to do our traveling, and that's helped us out tremendously, is getting around to these different racetracks and different lines and different profiles, and being able to set the car up differently each time we go out. So, but it's all about what's money we have at that time. It's the Fall Clash, we may not run every one of them.
Have you been to the track since May?
Yeah, I've been helping Andrew Yoder out as much as I can. Those guys, they will literally drop everything to come out and help me with something. So I like to give back what I can, which isn't terribly a lot, but being a set of hands in the pits is.
And that's the way racing should be. When you're on the track, you want to whoop somebody. When you're off the track, you help each other out. And most of the racers are like that. Most of them. There's a few that aren't. Anybody, you want to mention any names that aren't? Nope.
Honestly,
I knew the answer to that, so just
I really haven't met too many that are like that. I mean, most of us are a big family. I always tell people, if you need something, come see me. We want to beat
Mhm.
you on the racetrack. I don't want to beat you because you needed a part or something like that.
Yeah.
And most of my groomsmen are racers. Andrew's one of them. Casey Steinhoff. I mean, these are guys that I've raced against in the past, and they've become some of my best friends. So
Yeah, and even locally, regionally, you know, statewide, even speed weeks, you see, I forget what car was it, but Danny Dietrich ended up over on his back under front of a sprint car, helping a guy get back on the track, a
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that he was going to compete against.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
it is amazing how much, for being competitors, how much everybody does help each other. And Andrew, I know that you guys have been friends for a long time, but he's having a great year this year.
he's having probably the year of a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, he's quick, and I can
Mhm.
remember because I was racing go-karts when he was, and you know, you'd see the number 2 blur by, and that was it. Even back then, he
A
was
few
quick,
laps later, you see the
smooth.
number 2 blur by.
Yeah, pretty much,
Mhm.
yeah. But you know, he's the whole Yoder family and everybody
Well, no,
involved with
family.
that.
I mean, that
Yeah.
that says it all. It's a family. I mean, you have your moments in any family, just like you do on the racetrack. But the bottom line is you're helping each other out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nathan, again, thanks for coming in. Is there anything else you want to say? Just kind of see you at the track. I know you mentioned your social media where people can kind of follow along the rest of the season if they want to.
Yeah. No, I just want to thank everybody who's reached out to us over the last few weeks, and the ones who've tried to help with what they can. It's been awesome to see the racing community trying to turn around and help us with what they can. Hopefully we see everybody out in the track, and I don't have to sit out any more weeks and after we get back on there, but we'll see.
All right, this time around. That's the Inside Lane, brought to you by Busch Light. Head to the mountains with Busch Light beer brewed longer to create a lighter body and fewer calories while always delivering that classic taste. Available at your favorite retailer. Please drink responsibly.